morning, everyone. Magandang umaga po. I'm Allan from Green Jakobsen. I'll be talking about human performance. And I come from Green Jakobsen, who focuses on, of course, human performance. So, to start with, how can we drive human performance, basically? So, I'm going to relate a story about one of our clients who have achieved great improvements in their performance, specifically on their safety culture. First thing is that you have to acknowledge that you have a problem or you have a challenge, right? So in 2017, we have a client who approached us and they said, well, this is our LTA from 2017 or 2015 to 2017. We want to improve. And they even said that we want to be the reference company. How can we do that? Can you help us? Yes, of course. What we needed to do is to make them be aware or where they should focus on. So what we help or how we help them is to give them a mirror so they can direct their focus where they need their attention to be there. Okay? So as a result, to make things short, from 2018, they have significantly improved their LTA by around 42%. Okay? So how did we do that? Of course, let me continue the story. So when recognizing is the first step, what is the second step? Well, we have to understand human performance. Human performance is the ability of individuals, teams, and organizations to perform their tasks safely and efficiently under varying conditions. And that also focuses on the what? Performance influencing factors. So, generally, my experience on board and the shipping industry, our training is very much focused on individual performances, right? So how do we navigate, how do we overhaul, etc., etc. Very much focused on individual competence. We tend to overlook how people should lead and influence others so they can work as a team and be able to come up with a better output or performance. So, but what are performance influencing factors? The performance influencing factors are basically, these are the things that influence the performance of a person in doing a task. So this can make the work difficult or successful. This could come into the interaction between the person doing the job and his environment, the design of his environment or equipment, or the interaction between people and people, like for example, your leader and the subordinate. How does he communicate? How does he motivate people to work? Okay? And also colleague interactions. So these are examples of performance influencing factors. So if you recognize that and have a plan how to deal with that, then you have to teach people how to lead people, right? And of course, the other factors as well. So the second step is the evaluation of the relevance of performance influencing factors and adjustability of the PIFs. Well, just to give you inspiration, we as a company, we have approached a very popular sportsman in Denmark. His name is Eskil Evensen. He's like the Manny Pacquiao in Denmark. Okay, so as you can see, they have 5 Olympic medals, they have 3 golds, 6 World Championship gold medals. So we asked them, why are you very successful? How can we get inspiration and translate this success into onboard setup? Okay, so he said, well, in the beginning, we were focusing on how we can improve ourselves, but maybe we were lacking something, he said. Because even the older guys who are competitors were outperforming them. So he said, we were focusing on something that everyone's already doing, but we were missing something. And when we realized it, and did something different or more than that, we started getting more golds. Okay, so what he was saying is that, well, when you train, when you prepare for a competition, what we have been doing is that we were very keen into focusing the number of strokes per minute for every participant, the watt pull in rowing machine, also the physical condition of each rower, the weight of the boat, of course, optimum water angle attack, right? So how you're going to row, the angle of attack to the water, that is also very important to practice. Optimum boat configuration, the calorie intake per day. So those are the quantitative data. But the thing is, everyone's also focusing on that, even the competitors, right? What made things significantly different and gave us a very important change in our output is this. They were able, like considering the feeling of boat balance. Remember, when you're already rowing, how you communicate with your members. How do you adjust when you're already rowing, where you have trust and full confidence with each other, teamwork, and a continuous adjustment as you go along. That's very important. And that's what we call the human insights or the qualitative data. Now, how are you going to translate this into onboard setup? In our industry, we focus a lot in the numbers when it comes to LTI, LTIF. That's really fine. PSC performance results, desired 2.0 or right ship observations, yes, those are very important. I'm not saying that we should not forget about, or we should forget about these things. Non-compliance or observations, they're very critical, right, in our performance. But maybe we have also to consider like the degree of psychological safety. What are the experiences of our seafarer, of our subordinates? How do they feel? Do they feel fear? Do they feel it's okay to speak up? Are they being included in the meeting, safety meeting or toolbox talks? Or are they oppressed? Or they cannot speak up? So communication is also very important. The way people lead, they listen to their men, that contributes a lot to performance. Because if people are not afraid to speak up or contribute or make suggestions in a meeting or risk assessment, then you would expect a more innovative and better performance. So it's the human side of it. Okay. So just to focus on the psychological safety, it has been proven that organizations or vessels which has a high level of psychological safety perform better, because when the crew, they're not afraid to share their ideas or even give feedback to their superior officers and report near misses, they can ask questions or admit mistakes. I made a mistake, what can you do? But the most important thing is that does your crew doesn't feel that there will be no negative consequence if they do that. Because if people feel that it's not safe to speak up, they will not report. They will not make any suggestions. So leaders have the challenge here to make the environment or this room, if you are the crew, I have to make sure that it is safe to speak up. That is one of the ways to define psychological safety. Okay? So, therefore, the third step in driving human performance is finding the right parameters to track performance influencing factors. So if you remember, the same client that I was pertaining to, in 2017, they came to us, right? So in 2018, we started a program for them. If I'm going to highlight that part. In 2018, they are in the critical level wherein the leader's ability to give clear direction on safety was very poor. So we just gave those information to them and they realized that, oh, we need to do something here. So if you want to improve performance, self-awareness is the first step. As Aristotle said, self-awareness is the beginning of all wisdom. You want to improve performance, first should focus where you want to direct your attention. So we guided them, and they have significantly and gradually improved their performance, as you have seen in their LTAs, which is 42% better now. And as we speak, in 2022, they became a reference company. From 70 in 2017, 70 vessels, now they have 100. Not that big, but they realized that, well, I think we are in the right direction. Now, their new challenge, because they have new leaders, they have new crew, then the old challenges are popping up. So what's my point? Well, human performance is like a continuous assessment of the things that you're doing well, and at the same time, the things that you need to focus on. Then you have to empower people, as what we've been talking here. You have to empower the crew to find ways and develop improvement. Okay? So the last step is basically to set the goals, set human performance objectives, timeline to reach the objectives. So from 2018 to 2022, they were able to reach their goal. But again, they said there's no finish line here. So we have new, sorry about that, that should be 12 minutes. So just to sum up, the 4 steps in improving human performance is, first, you have to be aware where you want to focus your attention, where you want to improve. Secondly, identify and evaluate the relevant performance influencing factors like psychological safety, if that's so. And find parameters to measure performance influencing factors. And finally, of course, you have to set the objectives. Thank you very much for listening.